G.R. Ganesh Kumar, Head of the Department of Commerce, PA and B&I, AJK College of Arts and Science, Balghat Main Road, Coimbatore. Today we are going to see about principles of accounting. Principles of accounting is nothing but basics of accounting. So in that first bookkeeping, what we mean by bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is the recording of financial transactions. Financial transactions is nothing but it is full of money transactions. Whether it is credit sales or credit purchase or cash sales or cash purchase, whatever it is, it's related to the financial transactions. So bookkeeping is the recording of financial transactions, and it is a part of the process of accounting in the business. Business transaction include the purchase, sales, receipts and payments of individual or organization or any person or any corporations, etc. So there are several standard methods of bookkeeping, include the single entry system and double entry system of bookkeeping systems. So next one, accounting concepts and conventions. So in accounting concepts and conventions, the first one is the accounting is the language of business. So accounts is nothing but it is fully used in any type of business, whether it is the small scale or large scale or medium scale, whatever it is, which types of business it is. It is the accounting is the language of business. So everywhere, whether it is small scale or medium scale or large scale, wherever it is, accounting is played the main vital role to make the language convey the same meaning to all people, as far as practicable, and to make it full of meaning. Accountants have agreed to a number of concepts which they are trying to follow. Next one, business entity concept. So accountants treat a business as the distinct from the person who own it, so that it becomes possible to record transaction of the business with the proprietor also. Without such distinction, the affairs of the firm will be all mixed up with the private affairs of the proprietor, and the true picture of the firm will not be available. Second one, money measurement concept. So it is measured the money. Money is financial transactions. So how much we are giving the cash transactions, how much we are doing the credit transactions. So we can measure the money, financial transaction. That is called that is the next stage of accounting concept. That is next one, money measurement concept. Money measurement concept is nothing but we want to calculate how much we spend actually. That is called money measurement concept. Accounting records only those transactions which are being expressed in monetary terms through quantitative records are also kept. And even though importance like here quarrel between the production manager and also the sales manager will not be recorded unless it is monetary effect can be measured with a fair degree of accuracy. Right. Next one, cost concept. Cost is nothing but it's expenses. So actually what we spend for a particular product manufacturing. For example, we are having the pen manufacturing industry. For manufacturing a single pen, how much we are actually spent. For example, we are spending for 4 rupees 50 paisa for manufacturing a single pen. It is from purchase of raw material to finished goods. So for each process we are spending 50 paisa, 1 rupee, like that we are spending. So actually total cost was 4 rupees 50 paisa. So that 4 rupees 50 is called as cost. That is called expenses. Cost is nothing but expenses. So how much we are spent for a particular product manufacturing, that is called cost. So in here it is included cost concept. So transactions are entered in the books of account at the amount actually involved. So actually what is the money or what is the amount involved in a particular product manufacturing or particular process, that is called cost. We have spent 4 rupees 50 paisa for a particular product manufacturing, that is called cost. But we have sold that particular product to 5 rupees. So that 5 rupees is called as price. So cost is different, price is different. Price, it is included profit. So 4 rupees 50 paisa is the cost. Cost is nothing but we are actually spent for a particular product manufacturing, that is called 4 rupees 50 paisa. Then 5 rupees we are selling. The 5 rupees is called price. So we are selling that particular goods for the 5 rupees. So that difference of 50 paisa is called as profit. So this is comes under the cost. Next one, going concern concept. It is going concern is nothing but it is a continuous process. So it is not stopped anywhere unless a business firm or business owner wind up that company. Till that it is a continuous process. So it is assumed that the business will exist for a long time and transactions are recorded from this point of view. It is that the necessity distinction between the expenditure that will render benefit over the long period and that whose benefit will be exhausted quickly. So within a year or deferred revenue expenditure. So it's a going concern. Going concern concept is nothing but it's a continuous process. So Mr. X was started a business. So within 1 year or within 2 years, Mr. X was died or whatever it is anything happened for Mr. X. So that business firm is taken over by Mr. Y. So that business it will be a going concern concept. It's a continuous process. It is nothing. It is not stopped by stopped for anyone. It's a continuous process. So that is called comes under this going concern concept. Next one, dual aspect. Dual aspect is nothing but double aspects. Each transactions have as two aspects. Each transaction, whatever it is, each in business, in concerning the business, each transactions has two aspects. Two aspects nothing but buying or selling, or payment or receipt, like that. So you can see here, if your business has acquired an asset, it must have resulted one of the following. First one, next, accrual concept. Accrual, income or profit arise only when there has been an increase in the owner's share of the assets of the firm, called owner equity, but not if the increase has resulted from money contributed by the owner himself. Any increase in the owner's equity is called revenue, and anything that reduces the owner's equity is expenses or loss. Profit results only when the total of revenue exceeds the total of expenses or losses. So when we call it is called revenue, means it is the revenue exceeds the total of expenses. So we are spending 4 lakh rupees in a particular period. Now after the particular period, we are having 5 lakh rupees in our hand. The difference of 1 lakh rupees is called revenue. So that is called profit. So we are spent 4 lakh rupees in the particular period ending. We are having 5 lakh rupees. So 1 lakh rupees we are having excess. So that excess is called profit. If suppose we actually spent 4 lakh rupees in end of the period, we are having only 3 lakh 50,000 rupees. Means that difference of 50,000 rupees is called deficit, or that is called loss. So this is the accrual concept. Next one, convention. These are all the concepts, accounting concepts. Next one, conventions. Conventions is in order to make message contained in the financial statements, the income statement, profit and loss account, and the statement showing the financial position. The statement showing the financial position is nothing but balance sheet. So in balance sheet only we can the balance sheet only showing that financial position of the company, clear and meaningful. These are drawn of according to the under mentioned conventions. First one, consistency. The accounting practice should remain the same from 1 year to another. For instance, it would not be proper to value stock in trade accounting to the one method 1 year and accounting to another method next year. So every year we are following the method, various methods. If a charge becomes necessary to the change, the effect should be stated clearly. Consistency. Next one, disclosure. Apart from legal requirements, good accounting practice also demands that all significant information should be disclosed. Not only various assets. For example, we have started a business, but also the mode of valuation should be disclosed. Various types of revenues and expenses must also disclose. Whether something should be disclosed or not will be dependent on whether it is material or not. Okay. Next one, accounting. Now we can come for the definition of accounting. What do you mean by accounting? What is the definition of accounting? The art of recording, classifying and summarizing in a significant manner in terms of money transactions, and even within part at least of a financial character, and interpreting the results thereof. So accounting is nothing but recording, classifying and summarizing in a significant manner. In a significant manner in terms of all money transactions or financial transactions. So whether money transactions or financial transactions is nothing but only the cash transaction will be entered, or credit transaction is not like that. Money is it is comes under whether it is the cash transaction or whether it is the credit transaction. Whatever it is, we have to everything it will be comes under the money transaction or financial transaction. So all these informations, all these records will be in recording and classifying and summarizing in a significant manner. In terms of money, it is called as accounting. Next one, journal. Journal is a book of original or primary entry or prime entry where transactions are recording in order to which they occur. It is the basic book of accounting which all business transactions are recorded at the first instance, and that is why it is called as books of original entry. So journal is the basic or first stage or first step in the accounting cycle. So that we are entering in whatever it is, what business entry it is, first we are going to enter in that particular transaction in the journal only. So that is the first stage or first step in the accounting cycle. So that's why we are called as, that is the original entry, or that is called as, we are called as primary entry. Primary is nothing but first stage of accounting cycle. So journal is the first stage of accounting cycle. All the information, whether all the business informations, we have to enter in the first stage, that is called as journal. So journal is called the book of prime entry or the primary book of accounts, because after recording the transaction in the journal, it is finally posted in the ledger, called as the books of accounts. So without entering in the journal, we cannot post that particular entry in the ledger. So journal is the first stage, that is the primary stage. So that is called as journal. Journal is called as prime stage of accounting entry. After entering the journal only, we can prepare ledger. So based on the information given in the journal only, we can prepare the ledger account. So the process of recording the entering a transaction in the journal is called journalizing, and the record of each transactions in the journal is called as journal entry. Next one, next one, ledger. So you can see the example problem here. Journalize the following transactions. First one, commenced business with cash rupees 80,000. Deposited cash with bank rupees 40,000. So purchased goods by paying cash rupees 5,000. So these are all the entries. So based on these entries, we have to journalize the entries. So first one, you can understand. First, based on preparing journal entry, we want to understand only a simple concept. A simple concept is nothing but what comes in debit, what goes out credit. That's the simple concept. Now you can see here, commenced business with cash rupees 80,000. That means first we want to understand that entry. Commenced business with cash means we have started a business, new business. We are going to start a business with cash of rupees 80,000. In that 80,000, we are going to start a new business. So in that time, what comes in to our business, what goes out from our business. So cash to capital. So what is the journal entry means? Cash comes into our business. So cash account, debtor to capital account. So that cash goes as capital. So cash account, debtor to capital account. So amount was 80,000. Next you can see purchased goods by paying cash 5,000. That means first you have to understand that entry. Purchased goods by paying cash rupees 5,000. So you are paying 5,000 rupees cash, then you can purchase for a particular goods. So what comes in, what goes out. So first you can understand what comes in, what goes out. Once you purchase some goods, what comes in, goods comes in. What goes out, you are paying the cash, so cash goes out. So what comes in, goods comes in. So goods is a common word, so we don't want to use that goods. So purchase account, debtor to cash account. Because purchase means goods comes in, so we want to enter purchase account. Purchase account, debtor to cash account, because cash goes out. So it is rupees 5,000. Next one, sold goods by Joy and received cash 11,000. Sold goods by Joy and received cash 11,000 means we are the Joy selling goods to us and received cash rupees 11,000. So we are the purchaser. So we purchased goods from Joy and given cash. So what is the meaning? What is the entry for that? Purchase account, debtor to cash account, 11,000 rupees. Next, paid salary by cash, that is 5,000 rupees. Paid salary is nothing but we are for our business concern or for our company, those employees are working for us. So we have to give salary in every month. That's our duty. So paid salaries by cash rupees 5,000 means we are paying salary to our employee. So in that time cash goes out, but what comes in? Nothing comes in, but they are working for us. So that duty will over. So salary account, debtor to cash account. Salary account, debtor to cash account. Next one you can see bought furniture by cash, rupees 4,000. Bought furniture means we are purchasing furniture for cash. Paying cash, we are purchasing furniture. Then what comes in? Furniture comes in. What goes out? Cash goes out. So furniture account, debtor to cash account. So these are all the formation of journal entries. So each and every journal entries we want to write the narration. So you can see commenced business with cash means we have what's the journal entry? Cash account entered to capital account. Then in the next line we have to write the narration. Narration is nothing but being business commenced with cash. So for each and every entry we have to enter the narrations. So these are the this is the model journal entries. Model problem of journal entries. Next one you can see ledger. So after completing the journal, we want to go for the next stage, that is called ledger. So all the transactions of similar nature, or relating to a particular person or thing entered in the books of original entry during the given a period of time must be sorted out and consolidated at one place to ascertain their net effect. This sort of processing is called classifying, is done to ascertain their net effect. This sort of processing is called classifying, is done in the ledger. So this is called ledger. So after the journal entries, so in journal entries we are entering the each day transactions. Each day transactions we are entering separately in the journal entry. So after completing journal entry, we want to consolidate the similar entries, similar nature of entries. Similar nature of entries is nothing but cash involved in many areas. Many areas is nothing but many days or many transactions. Cash involved in that cash alone, that cash transactions alone we want to consolidate, and we have to enter in the one head. That one head is called cash account. So all the cash transactions comes under the cash account in the ledger. So it's a consolidated amount. It's a consolidated report. So that is comes under the ledger. Then all purchase. So in last 1 month, or last 15 months, 15 days we are entering that journal entries. So every day we are entering the journal entries. So after 15 days over, after the particular period over, we want to go for the ledger. In that ledger, all the similar transactions like that already I told, like that the cash transactions or purchases. So in last 15 days we are purchasing, 7 days we are having 7 entries like purchase means that all together, that 7 purchase entries all together we have to consolidate and we have to enter in the ledger under one head, that is called purchase. So cash account, purchase account, sales account, like that. These are the examples for ledger. So this is the second stage of accounting cycle. First stage is journal. After completing the journal, we want to consolidate similar nature of transactions, similar transactions under the one head, that is called ledger. So what is the purpose of calculating the ledger? What is the purpose of preparing the ledger account means to know their net effect for a particular transaction. Cash account, what is the cash involved in a particular period? So what is the net cash? What is the total cash involved in a particular period? That is called purpose of. Then we purchase last 15 days we are purchasing various items in the various days means what is the consolidated amount? What is the total amount? What is the total purchases we have to done in the last 15 days? So these all comes under the ledger. So journal is the first stage of accounting cycle. Then ledger is the second stage of accounting. Next one, subsidiary books. Subsidiary books is nothing but subsidiary books or books of original entry. They are also known as day book or special journals. We record transactions of similar nature in subsidiary books. They are helpful in the overcoming the limitations of journal book or journal entry. Journal book or journal. It is also called as subsidiary book. It is also called as books of original entry. They are also known as day book or special book or special journals. So suppose this is helpful overcoming the limitations of journal book. If there is any limitations in any mistakes in the journal entries, it is overcoming the limitations of journal book or journal entries. Then what is the types of subsidiary books? What is the types of subsidiary books? We can divide the subsidiary books in the following types. What is the types? First one, cash book, then purchase book, then sales book, purchase returns book or return outwards book, then sales return or return inwards book, bills received book or bills paid. These are the types of subsidiary book. Then what do you mean by cash book? So in first book, first types of subsidiary books, the first one is called cash book. So what do you mean by cash book? It records all the cash and bank receipts. It records all the cash and bank receipts and payments. It is a book of original entry as we record transactions in it for the first time from the source documents such as vouchers, invoice, etc. In cash book, only the cash transactions, nothing else. Only the cash transaction, whether it is paid or whether it is received. Only cash transaction. If there is any credit transaction, it will not come under this cash book. Only cash transactions involved in this cash book. That is called first type structure. This is the format of cash book. Format of cash book. Next one, purchase book. A firm records all its credit purchases of goods in the purchase book or purchase table, while it records all the cash purchases of goods in the cash book. So in cash book we can see only cash transactions, not credit transactions, but only cash transactions we want to enter in the cash book. That is called first step, first type of subject book. Second one, purchase book. Purchase book is nothing but a firm record all its credit purchases, only credit purchases. In this purchase book, only credit transactions or credit purchases entered in the purchase book. Not the cash purchase. If anything cash purchase is there, it will not be entered in the purchase book. It will be entered in the cash book itself. So in purchase book, only credit purchases entered in the purchase book. This is the purchase book form. Next, sales book. It is the same. Third, sales book. Sales book is nothing but only credit sales. If suppose we have done any cash sales, we want to enter in the cash book itself. So in sales book, only credit sales will be entered in the sales book. Not if there is any cash sales will be any cash transaction done in the particular period, that cash transactions will be entered in the cash book, not in this sales book. Only credit sales, not a cash sales. Only credit sales will be entered in the sales book or sales table. Okay, this is the format of sales book form. Next one, purchase return or return outward book. We record a return of goods purchased in the purchase return book. Purchase return book. If there is any purchase return, any purchase we are purchasing from our supplier. If suppose if the goods any quality wise or quantity wise we are not satisfying with particular goods, we have to return to that goods. So that is called purchase return. Already we purchased, now we want to return that goods. That is purchase return. Only the purchase returns if anything happens in a particular period in a particular company or particular business firm. That purchase return entries only entered in the purchase return book, not other than any entries. Only purchase returns. Only purchase returns will be entered in the purchase returns book. This is the format of purchase returns. Okay. Then sales return or return inward book. The similar thing. What we done for our supplier. We are purchasing from some goods from our supplier. If suppose if there is any damage or quality wise we are not satisfying with that particular goods, we have to return to that goods. That's called purchase return. We are purchased, that is we are purchased, then we can return to our supplier. That's called purchase return. The same will here just opposite sales return. We are the supplier, we are supplying some goods to our customers. So our customers is not satisfying with any quantity wise or quality wise what we supplied that particular goods. The customer can return the goods to us. That is called sales return. We are sold, that goods will be returned to us. That is called as sales return. We record the return of goods only in the sales return book. Only sales returns. If there is anything goods returned by our customers, that is called as sales return. That sales return only will be entered in the sales return book, not more than that. Okay, right. Next one, bills receivable book. We record all the acceptance of the bills in our favor in the bills of receivable book. We need to post the total of bills receivable book in the bills of receivable account. Also, we need to post the individual accounts of the customers in bills receivable book. This is the format of bills receivable book. Next, bills payable book. We record all the acceptance of the bills that we issue in favor of others in the bills of payable book. We need to post the total of bills payable book to the bills payable account. Also, we need to post the individual accounts of the suppliers. So this is the format of bills payable book. Next stage is trial balance. A trial balance is a list of all the general ledger account, both revenue and capital, contained in the ledger of business. This list will contain the name of each nominal ledger account and the value of the nominal ledger balance. So each nominal ledger account will be hold either debit balance or a credit balance. Okay. Next, this is the format of trial balance. Then cost. Cost meaning cost is nothing but already I told cost expresses the amount of money that is spent on the particular production or creation of the goods or services. Cost does not include a markup for profit. Cost is nothing but particular product manufactured, what we actually spend for a particular product manufacturing, that is called cost. Cost is nothing but expenses. Okay, so you can see here costs are the resources used to make product. It is the expressed in the monetary terms. Okay, today we have completed this fundamentals of bookkeeping, then accounting concept and conventions, then journal, ledgers, substitutes and trial balance. Okay, we can see the left topics in the next class. Thank you.